Ethical Society. Please give a shout out to that as well. Give us a hello. And if you want to share your messages with everyone, please be sure that it says all panelists and attendees. And let's see who's here. We have all kinds of folks here. Take a look. Take a look. And welcome to our early birds. So if you'd like to say hello in the chat, please go ahead and find the chat. And then you can say hello. We're happy to see any and all who are here. So it is a lovely sunny day. Randy says hello and good morning. Hi, Randy. Lovely to see your greetings. Carl and Emily say hello. Good morning. Great to see you, or see you. Yeah, okay. So so we have greetings from Silver Spring. If you want to share your messages with everybody, be sure that your chat settings say for all panelists and attendees. For some unknown reason, it defaults to all panelists. Good morning, Wes and Judy. Jeff Mihal says, I'm in Wheaton. Okay. Greetings from Wheaton. Adam Goldberg says, good morning, everyone. And Adam, wonderful to see your hello. I keep wanting to say that it's great to see everyone, but not yet. Soon, very, very soon. I have seen a couple of people. And of note is that Lynn says, everybody say thank you to Adam G for hosting coffee hour today. Yay! That's quite a feat, a tech feat. And we are happy to make it possible to gather virtually, and Adam is supporting that. Wonderful. Feel free to say hi in the chat and be sure that your messages are set to all panelists and attendees. And it's a good time to get a candle to light if you should be so interested. There was actually an opportunity recently for some of us to gather in person at a local establishment and visit for a time. That's amazing. It's been so long since that was possible, and it was really quite delightful. Christine says, good morning. Good morning, Christine. As people gather and come into the webinar on this beautiful sunny Father's Day, interestingly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are coming to us from another ethical society, we'd love to know that too. Perry Bider says, good morning from Perry B. The old forgot to change the settings routine. And then one has to either retype or cut and paste. Phooey. It is so nice to be able to gather together, even if it's still just virtually. It will be really nice when we can do some, at least some in-person gathering in the next few months. So I'm very much looking forward to that. A little bit at a time. Safety is our number one priority. Safety and health. Walter and Susan say good morning. Nice to have a time to greet one another. Mark Mayer says good morning and buenos dias to all. Joe Klein, excuse me. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Vincent, Tyler, terrific to see you. Sue Smith, morning. Bill Wilson says, good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Greetings and blessings to all those here. Special shout outs to those individuals who are father figures. And Laura Tyler, that must be Laura T. We have several Lauras. Good morning, Shirley Storms. Very, very nice. For all to see and be seen. So be sure to set your settings to all panelists and attendees. Joe London says, good morning all. Happy Father's Day, dads. Indeed. Good morning, good morning. And Karen Schofield Leka. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. So very nice, so nice that as we gather together.
Thank you, Judy. Good morning. I'm Lynn Cox. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm the interim leader here at West.
Okay, welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's a good time to get a candle if you haven't already done that. Good morning and welcome to the Washington Ethical Society. I'm Judy Myers, and you can use she, her pronouns for me, and I will be the officiant today. Today's platform is about finding joy, even as we acknowledge sorrow and struggle. Opening words this morning are by Sherry Woodbury.
Welcome, who come in friendship, who long for genuine community.
May you be graciously received here as your authentic self.
Welcome, who come in curiosity, full of questions or simply open.
May you embrace wonder and encounter new delights.
Welcome, who come heavy with fatigue, weary from the troubles of the world or the troubles of your particular life.
May you rest and be filled in this community.
Welcome, who come with joy for flowing rivers and gentle breeze, for changing skies and great trees.
May the grace of the world leave a lasting imprint in you.
Welcome, who come with thanks for the altruism of the earth and the gift of human care.
May your grateful heart overflow and bring joy to those around you.
We celebrate this wondrous life. Let us gather together. And we continue today's platform with music from our fabulous officiant, Judy Myers.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I got a name, I got a name. like the singing bird and the croaking toad. I got a name, I got a name, and I carry it with me like my daddy did. But I'm living the dream that he kept hid. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Like the north wind whistling down the sky, I've got a song, I've got a song. Like the whippoorwill and the baby's cry, I've got a song, I've got a song. And I carry it with me and I sing it loud. If it gets me nowhere, I go there proud. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by.
Boy, it's kind of strange to see yourself singing and officiating at the same time. Welcome once again to the Washington Ethical Society. Visitors from near and far, we especially welcome you. We hope that you'll say hello in the chat, and you might send an email to our membership coordinator, Maceo Thomas, at maceot@ethicalsociety.org. That's MACEOT@ethicalsociety.org. You can also fill out a connection form. Maceo will put that link in the chat. And we hope you'll join us after the platform service for a chance to say hello. Our chat will stay open through much of the platform service, closing for the address itself and then reopening. If you don't want to see the chat, this is a good time to minimize it. Closed captioning is also available, and you can turn that on or off as you prefer. Each week, we read our statement of purpose as a reminder of our shared values. This week, the statement of purpose will be read by Randy Myers. Randy is a member of the Community Relations Committee, or CRC, which is planning a workshop coming up in September. And they've got a blog coming out in the next little bit of time. The CRC has also developed the statement, I'm sorry, not the statement of purpose. And Randy has been a member since about 2016. He is also a co-host of A Deepening Circle, and he is also my husband. Randy, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. The West Statement of Purpose. The Washington Ethical Society is a humanistic congregation that affirms the worth of every person. We strive through our relationships to elicit the best in the human spirit. With faith in human goodness, we appreciate each person's unique capacities. We joyfully celebrate together and support each other through life. We nurture a sense of reverence and responsibility for each other and the earth. We invite you to join our community of children and adults as we work for a world where love and justice cross all borders.
Thank you, Randy. If you are interested in taking a turn to read the statement of purpose, you can sign up at tiny.cc/readsop. We'd love to hear your words. If you have a candle at home, I invite you now to light it as I share our candle lighting words. May we kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the light of understanding, and the fire of commitment to build a brighter future for all.
May it be so. Thanks, Judy. Thanks, Randy. This is a story from Frog and Toad Together by Arnold Lobel, and this story is called The List. One morning, Toad sat in bed. "I have many things to do," he said. "I will write them all down on a list so that I can remember them." Toad wrote on a piece of paper, "A list of things to do today." And then he wrote, "Wake up." "I have done that," said Toad, and he crossed out, "Wake up." Then Toad wrote other things on the paper. "There," said Toad, "now my day is all written down." He got out of bed and had something to eat. Then Toad crossed out, "Eat breakfast." Toad took his clothes out of the closet and put them on. Then he crossed out, "Get dressed." Toad put the list in his pocket. He opened the door and walked out into the morning. Soon Toad was at Frog's front door. He took the list from his pocket and crossed out, "Go to Frog's house." Toad knocked at the door. "Hello," said Frog. "Look at my list of things to do," said Toad. "Oh," said Frog, "that is very nice." Toad said, "My list tells me that we will go for a walk." "All right," said Frog, "I am ready." Frog and Toad went on a long walk. Then Toad took the list from his pocket again. He crossed out, "Take a walk with Frog." Just then, there was a strong wind. It blew the list out of Toad's hand. The list blew high up in the air. "Help," cried Toad, "my list is blowing away. What will I do without my list?" "Hurry," said Frog, "we will run and catch it." "No," shouted Toad, "I cannot do that." "Why not?" asked Frog. "Because," wailed Toad, "running after my list is not one of the things that I wrote on my list of things to do." Frog ran after the list. He ran over hills and swamps, but the list blew on and on. At last, Frog came back to Toad. "I am sorry," gasped Frog, "but I could not catch your list." "Blah," said Toad. "I cannot remember any of the things that were on my list of things to do. I will just have to sit here and do nothing," said Toad. Toad sat and did nothing. Frog sat with him. After a long time, Frog said, "Toad, it is getting dark. We should be going to sleep now." "Go to sleep," shouted Toad. "That was the last thing on my list." Toad wrote on the ground with a stick, "Go to sleep." And then he crossed out, "Go to sleep." "There," said Toad, "now my day is all crossed out." "I am glad," said Frog. Then Frog and Toad went right to sleep. So ends the story. I think Frog and Toad discovered that what we pay attention to matters, and that there is a balance between making plans and figuring things out as surprises happen. Sometimes we make lists of things to do or problems to solve or things we're worried about. And let's also make lists of things we enjoy, things we're glad about, things we look forward to, and friends that we're proud of. So here's some friends that we're proud of. One of the joys of being in a multi-generational community is watching young people grow and mature and welcoming them into new levels of freedom and responsibility. Today, we honor graduating high school seniors. Though these young adults are not able to be with us today, we surround them with joy and prepare a place for them to enter the adult community. So let us hold in our hearts Jasper Drizzen Khan, Abby Oswald, Ellie Owen, Tony Wilson, and Brian Wilson. We congratulate the seniors and the families whose support made their achievement possible. Inspired by their growth, let us recommit to being a community where we nurture children, youth, and adults into becoming the people and the community that we can be.
Each week, we ring a chime in solidarity with people around the world. Today, I'm particularly mindful of our relationships with fathers, whatever their gender. Whether we know who our fathers are or not, whether we are fathers, wish to be fathers, or choose not to be fathers, whether we parent children by blood or by affinity, whether we have absent, strained, or loving parent-child relationships, or whether we lavish parental love on our communities. We recognize the personal and social significance of these relationships and honor those fathers who bring love and support into our lives. As we listen to the chime, let us remember our connection to each other and the world around us. Let us hold in our hearts all that hurts in the world. And let us commit ourselves to all that calls for our work and our love.
Indeed. There is a lot going on right now. As Judy mentioned, it's Father's Day. And that brings up a lot of complex and polarizing emotions in many people. We celebrate our graduates and remember how difficult these past months have been for students and teachers and families. Some of us have loved ones who are getting married, maybe having had their weddings postponed several times due to the pandemic. And it's still Pride Month, and we celebrate the circumstances where people can be their whole selves. Yet we never forget those we have lost when it was too inconvenient for the dominant culture to acknowledge a plague. For every milestone event, even joyous events, we are reminded of those who are missing. We remember ancestors and mentors who paved the way for better times that they did not live to see. We remember those lost to COVID, to depression, to violence, and to other causes. Grief is a constant companion, even in times of gladness. And we bring some of these same mixed emotions to Juneteenth, which was observed yesterday. The recognition of a national holiday is a positive step. It's a victory in which we can take joy, and we're not done. The holiday does not bring with it reparations or a mandate to teach the full and accurate history of the United States in our classrooms or an end to murder by police. Music following the silent meditation will call to mind and heart those lost to police violence. Juneteenth itself commemorates an extremely late notice of the official end of slavery, an acknowledgement that words on paper do not bring freedom by themselves. Still, Juneteenth is a good day to support Black-owned businesses, celebrate Black communities, and learn more about Black history, and to continue to move toward liberation. We must constantly work toward a world where love and justice cross all borders. And so as we enter into meditation, We will name to ourselves both joys and sorrows. Experiences of uplift and loss exist together, intertwined. Our joy rises as resistance, as a refusal to let sorrow quell our call to liberation, and as fuel to help sustain us through difficult times. So let us be fully present to the whole human experience that is with us in this very moment. You may wish to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Find a posture that is comfortable yet attentive, stable and yet flexible. And notice the sensation of your breath. How does your body adjust to receive your in-breath? And how do you move as you release your out-breath? Can you feel the air rushing in and out of your nose or your mouth? Notice how it feels to breathe. Each breath is precious. And notice the sensations in your body. Where do you ache? Where do you find ease? Where do you notice growth or healing? Are you holding tension anywhere, perhaps your shoulders or your face? Notice how it feels to be in your body. Your body is precious. And notice what is welling up in your mind and heart. Name your thoughts and your feelings. Are you feeling proud and joyous, worried, frustrated, bored, hopeful? Take note of your thoughts and feelings without letting them overtake you. We call to mind and heart those who are observing milestones. Happy milestones, sad milestones, complex milestones. We hold in love those who are observing a Father's Day disrupted by death or distance or estrangement, and those who are observing a Father's Day as happy new parents, and those who aren't sure what to do with a day about parenting in binary terms. We hold in love all who are celebrating completions and achievements, graduation, finishing treatment, new members of the family, new responsibilities in work or school or volunteer life. And we hold in love those who have not yet reached the completion they hoped for, still working toward graduation, coping with health setbacks, facing job uncertainty or job loss or jobs not yet found. We hold in love those who are grieving, even as they find simple pleasures and new adventures that they wish they could share with their loved one. For these and many more, we expand our sense of loving kindness to embrace the whole complex truth of being human. Each person we know, in their joy and in their sorrow, in their life and in their legacy, is a precious person of worth and dignity. Return your attention to your breath. You may be able to feel your heart beating, carrying the nourishment from your breath out to the tips of your fingers, the bottoms of your feet, the tops of your head. Notice once again the sensation of breathing, the sensation of being present with your body. If you're ready to let go of your thoughts and feelings like a butterfly taking wing from the tip of your finger, let go. Be as present as you can. As we go about our day and our week and the lives spread before us, let us remember to honor both sorrow and joy as they come to us in each moment. We continue our meditation in silence and in the music that follows. Thank you to Leah for that meditation. Joy and sorrow are always present together. We started a project at our house on June 1st. Even though we're not yet back to spending a whole afternoon indoors at the library with the children, we wanted to collectively celebrate the experience of a summer reading club. The kids used several sheets of flip chart paper to draw 100 rectangles, plus doodles and illustrations and instructions for a shared reading chart. Everyone in the house has their own color of magic marker to color in a rectangle with the name of a book as we complete it. Reading for us is a delight. Asking each other questions about what we're reading is a love language. And so as the rectangles have bloomed in 6 different colors throughout the month so far, each one has been a small notation of joy. Sometimes one thinks about the seasons of our joy only in terms of peak experiences. We think of the Winter Festival or New Year's Eve or the State Fair, each a symbolic splash on the monthly page in the scrapbooks of our minds. And if you're a person who celebrates birthdays, maybe that's an important milestone. Maybe camping or travel or visiting family we rarely see sticks out in our minds as we anticipate our hopes for the year ahead. And those are all good things. And yet, peak experiences are not the only things that bring us joy. It seems to me that paying attention to all of the things that bring us joy, large and small, can help carry us through times of transition. Many things in our shared lives are improving, and we'll get back to some of our favorite big celebratory events in adapted ways. Meanwhile, let's value all of the things that keep us grounded in the best of who we are and who we can be. Today, as we hang on the cusp of summer, happy summer solstice, celebrating parents and graduates and weddings and pride, yet still aching from a difficult year and a half. Let's open our minds and hearts to all of the forms of joy we can name. Today's story, A List from Frog and Toad Together by Arnold Lobel, gives some hints about how to notice joy. The attention to detail in this story, the room Lobel makes in the narrative for pause, and the enduring friendship that's the focus of the entire series, are all helpful lessons for us as we gather up sparks of happiness in our own lives, fireflies that may be only with us for a moment, but whose lights we can remember for years. From this story, I learned that small things count, that it's important to rest and reset, and that we can find joy when we travel together. As we are naming our joy, small things count, Frog begins his day by checking off tasks like get dressed, eat breakfast. And those things matter. There are days when self-care is a victory and days when we need to practice self-compassion because those tasks are out of reach. In some ways, it's a practice of mindfulness, of paying attention to where we are in the moment. As we dress, we can notice the feeling of fabric on our skin, and we can hold in loving kindness all those who saw to the completion of that garment. I think back to times when celebrating small things got me through the day, or helped me inch toward a distant goal, or just brought me back to center after being knocked off balance by the regular turns of daily life. After my children were born, I decided to give fitness, walking, and running a try. I had never done that before. My favorite team sports up until that point were swimming and Frisbee. But something about taking time for myself with my headphones every day was appealing at that point in my life. So I got a Couch to 5K application on my phone to help guide me through workouts that started very small and gradually increased until I could participate in a whole race. And the first couple of days were frustrating. I felt like I spent more time lacing up my shoes than I actually did running. But eventually, because there were records, I could look back and see my stamina increasing over time. Not every day, because some days are better than others, but over time, there was improvement. I could celebrate when I could run rather than walk for a whole minute, and then a whole 5 minutes. And when I was able to value the time spent on the practice, even if all I could do that day was walk around the block, I had more energy to keep going. I did get to run in a race eventually, and I have since switched to a different form of exercise for my regular workouts because I have age-appropriate knees. But I did learn something about finding joy in small achievements. Sometimes we need to work up to things gradually, and when there's setbacks, we need to work up gradually again. Writing down the joys and the milestones can help. Focusing on the positive aspects of the experience and the signs of improvement helped me sustain a practice. And the same can be said for groups. I think people at WES have experienced appreciative inquiry before. Sometimes we think of appreciative inquiry in terms of a single meeting or an event or a contained process of discernment. And it's also a paradigm shift in our organizational life together, a perspective where we lift up and leverage strengths rather than focusing on deficits. The philosophy of appreciative inquiry was developed by David Cooperrider and Suresh Srivastava at Case Western Reserve University in the early 1990s. So appreciative inquiry has been around for a while now. And there are newer ideas we need to incorporate about competing value systems and multicultural competency. Yet I think it's worth returning to an approach where we ask questions about what's working and build a positive vision for a future we can move toward together. To bring out the best we can be, we need to identify and nurture what's best right now. As our community gradually re-emerges from the pandemic and builds toward a new normal of accessibility, inclusion, compassion, and justice, we will face setbacks, and the speed of our hopes may outpace the reality of how fast we can go without leaving people behind. Let's find joy in each moment. Each time we find ourselves sharing time or space or intention. When you appreciate something about WES going forward, write it down. Ask questions about how members can keep doing what members do well. How you can keep doing what you do well under the current circumstances. Share your excitement about small things with other people. Make a list because small things count. The second thing we learned from Frog and Toad about naming our joy is that we can rest and reset. The first thing on Toad's list is wake up. That's what makes it the beginning of the list. Every day is new. The last thing on the list is go to sleep. Toad does not take for granted that he will automatically remember to rest at the end of the day. He puts it on a list. And maybe some of us need to remember sometimes to care for our bodies instead of pushing to do one more thing. And when he doesn't know what else to do, Toad pauses. Now, as the reader, we can imagine that it also would have been a fine choice for Toad to let go of his attachment to his list and either help Frog try to find it or create a new plan. And maybe that's something some of us need to hear as well. But I also have some admiration for a character who will simply pause rather than rushing into the next thing without consideration. We've talked before at WES about the tension between our focus on deeds, not creeds, and the philosophical foundation of the inherent worth and dignity of every person, value that people simply have without earning it. What we do and the impact we have is of greater concern than the intentions of our minds or the secrets of our hearts. Yet we cannot forget that worth is inherent, even if we or our neighbors haven't achieved any great deeds lately. So I hope we can encourage ourselves and each other to rest. People need time to bask in their inherent worth, to notice the beauty of the people and the world around them and within them, and to care for their own valuable, precious being. It may be the case that allowing rest for ourselves will also remind us of the inherent worth of others and will lead us to create a world where every person can have what they need, rather than putting up obstacles to separate the worthy from the unworthy. Rest may give us a foretaste of the beloved community. Rest creates room for the experience of joy. And the reset part is also important. We can experience time as a kind of river, and there are ways in which the past and the future flow into one another. Yet most of us experience time as moving. The past and the present and the future are connected, but they are different from one another. Rest gives us an island in the river so that we can separate them, looking back and looking forward and looking around us, so that we can differentiate what was from what is, from what we anticipate things will be. Things that brought us joy in the past are worth remembering fondly, but that doesn't mean repeating the same thing will bring the same joy or is even possible. Being present in the here and now, resting in the sense of not striving or problem solving or planning or fixing, helps us experience what is bringing us joy right now, without diminishing that joy with comparison to the past or the future. Frog and toad go to sleep. Maybe tomorrow they will take a walk or go swimming or grow a garden or write a letter. But the comfort of being in that moment is where we pause at the end of that chapter. And pausing helps us value the joy in that moment. Rest and reset to highlight the joy of the present moment. A third thing we learned from Frog and Toad is that traveling together can help us amplify joy. The thing on Toad's to-do list that transforms his day is meeting up with Frog. And as companions, they support each other in new discoveries. They affirm each other, and sometimes they can be of service to their friend in a way that brings its own kind of joy. When Frog sees the list, he says, "Oh, that is very nice." Frog appreciates the project his friend has worked on, and that's a source of happiness. When Toad is disappointed about losing his list, Frog sits with him, simply being present. The peace of friendship providing a balance to the sorrow of a project gone awry. And as evening nears, Frog reminds Toad of something on his list, and reconnecting with his project brings Toad the excitement of a reclaimed goal. There is more joy in their adventure together than there would have been for either of them alone. And may it be so for all of us. Sometimes companions are hard to find, and most relationships come with moments of tension and conflict. Yet there are ways we can cultivate a practice of presence with one another that amplify joy, make sorrow more bearable, and help sustain us on the journey. Some of the secret is in the first two things we learned, that small things count and that we can take time to rest and reset. Small affirmations and appreciations make a difference in our relationships. They help us find joy in each other. Taking time to rest, being fully present even when our companions are having a difficult time, letting the new day reset us for the here and now, to be with our loved ones as the people they have grown to become. All of these are practices of friendship that make room for joy. Over the past year, we have had to reassess what it means to travel together. We share time differently than we used to. We find connection in chat messages and text messages, shared movies over an internet connection, recorded sentiments and songs, notes back and forth about books we're reading, and cards in the postal mail that are ever more precious. May it be so that in-person connections become more practical for more people. But that does not take away the value of the connections that sustained us during this time. We don't need to devalue the ways we had to adapt. And we definitely don't need to abandon the people for whom those adaptations are still needed. We are better together, all of us. And that includes the friends who have limited mobility or sensory sensitivities, or transportation challenges, or delicate immune systems. Our beloveds of inherent worth come in many varieties. I believe there are spectacular adventures ahead for Wes. This continues to be a vital community of exploration, mutual support, and action for justice. We will find new ways to live out Wes's core values and become ever more fluent in both old and new ways to connect as members journey in collaboration. We are better together. In that there is joy. I invite you to continue that joyful journey and your commitment to Wes. Our joy is cultivated and uplifted when we notice it in progress. This is especially true of the small joys, the moments of contentment, discovery, and affection that sneak up on us without being scheduled. Take note of our joys, writing them down, sharing them with each other, savoring the moments, naming these times as what they are. Those practices help us to experience them fully. Small things count, so give every moment of joy its due. Rest and reset, finding ways to be fully present and to bask in your inherent worth. Travel together with appreciation for your companions, respect for their inherent worth, and joy in what you can discover in your shared journey. May it be so. After some music, we'll have community sharing time when you can write into the chat about what resonated with you today. A framing question might help you to spark a memory of a personal experience or your direct observation. If you like, you can focus your sharing on this question. What joy have you found in the last day or week or year? I hope you can find something joyful today, but maybe you want to do a whole catalog. What joy have you found in the last day, week, or year? As we contemplate, rest, and reflect, let us experience the beauty of the musical response. This is Colorful, composed by Jukebox the Ghost and performed by Julie Grimes.
Hey, are we just getting started? Take your fears and let them go. For the lovers and the broken hearted, take a deep breath, make the world a little colorful. Wanna feel like a light in a dark place, another color in a world of black and white. Wanna try to paint the world in a new way, left home with a dream and a suitcase. Work hard, play hard, we don't have to grow up. Hide and seek, promise me that we'll never grow up. Hey, are we just getting started? Take your fears and let them go. For the lovers and the broken hearted, take a deep breath, make the world a little colorful. Hey, are we just getting started? Take your fears and let them go. For the lovers and the broken hearted, take a deep breath, make the world a little colorful. Another mirror saying, why so serious? Another one in a long line. Don't let growing up get between us. Got a lot of little color back into your life. Work hard, play hard, we don't have to grow up. Hide and seek, promise me that we'll never grow up. Hey, are we just getting started? Take your fears and let them go. For the lovers and the broken hearted, take a deep breath, make the world a little colorful. Hey, are we just getting started? Take your fears and let them go. make the world a little colorful.
Wow, that was terrific. Very nice. This is a time when we add our own voices to the morning, sharing our reflections on the platform or what resonates in our own lives. You may consider the framing question, what joy have you found in the last day, week, or year? I invite you to share in the Zoom chat if you're watching live. Or if you're watching this later on YouTube or Facebook. We've got a number of things going on in the chat this morning. We have from Vincent Tyler says, sorry. Perry Biter says, 4 moments of joy for me in today's platform were, I've got to find what the 4 moments were, to be continued. Joe Klein, here's my joy for the morning. I'm dialed into Wes while walking on Roosevelt Island and just passed by a corgi club with humans walking at least 20 corgis. That sounds like fun. Let's see what else. Yay, corgis, says Ann Baker. Katrina says, oh, about corgis, I have to assume. So, all right. So Perry Biter's, here are the mystery joys from Perry Biter. He says, Judy's and Julie's songs, the graduates' photos, Lynn's phrase, age-appropriate knees. Yes, I rather liked that too. And I think that the transliteration said age-appropriate means, I think that means knees. Peter Bishop says, thank you, Julie, for a great song. Donna Taylor says, grandparenting is a real joy. Lynn Cox says, thanks to Julie also. Joe London says, on my visit in Sarasota, I reconnected with a wonderful friend who was celebrating her 85th birthday. She's an expert at enjoying all little things, and I saw a century plant with its huge stalk that it puts out just once in its life. Cool. Walter Ewing says, I found joy when a bunch of us sat on the grass in front of Wes the morning we decorated Wes for Pride Month. Delightful. Jeff Mehall says, my joy was during last Sunday, seeing Wes members at Denizens in Silver Spring. They reminded me of an ophthalmologist's office. They were a sight for sore eyes. Ann Baker says, enjoyment of the moment, my cup of coffee and bowl of fruity muesli, and the effort to make it, the music from my West friends, and several days of perfect weather. Oh, wonderful, wonderful joys. A lot of joy going on here. And Katrina says, yes, the corgis. Peter Bishop shares with us, it was wonderful to experience this platform. The long list of simple truths about the nature of subjective life was really wonderful. These truths seem to be inconsistent with the struggle for excellence or productivity, but Lynn helped explain that this is not correct. Remaining well-grounded in how we feel and what we really want is important to help us navigate the challenges we face. Indeed. Katrina goes on to say, I've been baking regularly for the past year, which has been a rare joy. Just need to get better at it. Hoping to be one of the West bakers once we have such a gatherings again. but everyone else is so good. Oh, fear not, Katrina. We will eat whatever you bake. Vincent Tyler says, Lynn, I not only was able to hear what you were saying, I also actually listened and heard it clearly. I found it to be a great message. Katrina says, also cicadas, they're so cool. I presume you are not baking the cicadas, but that is a joy. Although people do all kinds of things with cicadas. Trang Duong says, joys, spending time with friends who stayed at our house Friday night, sharing laughter, fun times, great food, and the joys of friendship. Katrina says, no, I was not baking the cicadas. Perry finds my humor enjoyable, let us just say. Abby Dakin says, I appreciate Lynn naming the tension between deeds over creeds and the inherent worth of people, no matter of our deeds. It is really very nice to hear one another's thoughts. And in particular, I definitely like this opportunity to share joys. One of my joys is being the officiant for Sunday mornings. And just as we share our perspectives in this community, so too do we share our resources and gifts. Here at WES, we split the Sunday collection between our operating budget and a fund dedicated to justice and compassion. We appreciate each person's generous giving as they are able. This month, half of the offering is dedicated to Life Pieces to Masterpieces. Life Pieces to Masterpieces uses artistic expression to develop character and leadership, unlock potential, and prepare African American boys and young men to transform their lives and communities. On the slide, you'll see the number to give by text for today's collection, which is 202-335-1885. And you can also make a gift online through the donate button on our website at ethicalsociety.org. We'll now receive your gifts and the musicians' gifts of music.
Come on over to my house. I miss the things that we used to do, all the simple joys we shared when our world was bright and new. Don't worry that it's too early. I'll be looking for you when the sun comes up. We'll roll down the hillside, rub our chins with buttercups. Over in my house, I can go and dig out my old LPs, and we'll while away the morning doing the twist under the willow tree. And if it storms in the afternoon, we'll run through the puddles in our bare feet, draw faces on the windows, dance on the rainbows out in the street. Down over in my house, come on over and stay with me. You weigh your cares like a heavy coat. You're buttoned up in your pain.
Very sweet. Thank you so much to the many people who helped to create this morning's time together. Interim music coordinator Leah Morris, West Chorus members, guest musician Nancy Doherty, membership coordinator Maceo Thomas, slide artists John and Abby Dakin, and tech host John Pfeiffer. Thank you to Adam Goldberg as well for being today's coffee hour host. Thanks also to the staff members who aren't as visible in platform, but whose work makes the activities of West possible. These include communications coordinator Robin Kravitz, SEEK assistant Andara Miles, youth coordinator Linda Izari, and business administrator Tom Hutton. These folks are the glue that hold us together. And thank you to those who are leading and supporting our work in the weeks to come. As always, this week has a variety of opportunities for West members and friends to connect virtually around shared interests and in support meetings and discussion groups. Please see the latest version of news and notes, or if you aren't receiving that, contact Robin Kravitz to get on our email list. The calendar on the website is currently out of order due to a software issue between Google and WordPress, but we're doing the best we can to find a workaround. Please join us after closing words for virtual coffee hour. To reach the Zoom room for coffee hour, point your browser to tiny.cc/West Coffee Hour. And we'd love to have you come and chat with us. Looking further ahead, here are a few upcoming events to be aware of. Widening the Anti-Racism Lens continues to meet to examine different aspects of life at West. Tomorrow, June 21st, the meeting focuses on hospitality and inclusion, such as through the volunteer efforts of greeters, ushers, Schmoozapalooza folks, and new member dinner hosts. These sessions are open to all who are interested in discussing these topics with an anti-racism lens. Note that these sessions are not anti-racism training workshops, and it's helpful to have a basic understanding of the influence of white supremacy on institutions. For more information, contact Trang Duong or Donna Taylor. And if you don't know what Schmoozapalooza is, wait till you get an opportunity to experience one. The philosophy group and the sci-fi book group are scheduled to meet next Sunday. Today is a great day to contact Peter Bishop or Adam Briskin Limehouse to find out what the members will be discussing in each group. For our platform next week, June 27th, we welcome Christian Hayden, a leader in training with the American Ethical Union. The title of Christian's talk is Ethical Systems and Us. As usual, we'll be right here on Zoom on Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. Finally, thank you for being here with us. Now let's enjoy our closing song of the month, sung by the members of the West Chorus. This is Somebody Come and Play.
Somebody come and play. Somebody come and play today. Somebody come and smile the smiles and sing the songs. It won't take long. Somebody come and play today. Somebody come and play. Somebody come and play. Somebody come and play my way. Somebody come and rhyme the rhymes and laugh the laughs. It won't take time. Somebody come and play today. Somebody come with me and see.
Somebody come and play today. Somebody come and be my friend and watch the sun till it rains again. Somebody come and play today.
Ah. Somebody come and play. And now I invite you to join me in our closing words for the month. Let us go into the week ahead with compassion, understanding, and commitment, amplifying joy and gathering in peace for our hearts and for our quest for a better world. Again, please join us for virtual coffee hour. You can find the link on the slide or in the chat. If you're new to our community, please send an email to our membership coordinator, Maceo Thomas, and introduce yourself. Indeed. So, peace lilies, people are enjoying. And Bill Wilson lets us know that our seniors are all planning to go to New York this summer, not an official WES youth event, but it seems in keeping with connections made with WES. Some people are lamenting the time that the song lasts because it was too short. And just wishing that it were a little longer. Katrina says for Judy's. And so tiny.cc/West Coffee Hour is where you will find the coffee hour. Come and join us for a time to visit together. And it's wonderful to have you all here with us, even if it is only virtual. So hope to see you all over in the virtual coffee hour.